Hi everyone, this is Drew again. We are, for Clay at Home this week, gonna make a soap dish. I have a few here that I have as samples that I use in workshops. To make these, we are just gonna combine two simple hand building techniques, just slabs and coils. As you can maybe see, we're gonna make a slab base, and then we'll make coils to go on top of it for ridges, for a border, to hold up your soap. You can also use it to make little feet if you wanna give it a little bit of a lift. For this project, you're gonna need clay. We'll use our thumbtack needle tool again. You can also use a nail, like last week. You might want a drill bit. If you wanna drill drainage holes inside of your soap dish, you can use this for that. You can also use a butter knife or a fork for scoring and for cutting, and you'll need a little bit of water. And you also wanna have some kind of wear board. So I'm just using a piece of wood right here. You can use a piece of cardboard. You can use a book with some newspaper on top of it. You can use a piece of drywall, works really well. Whatever you have lying around, probably in your basement or somewhere, is good. To start on this, we're going to take our clay. Just like last week, like every time you're working with clay at home, you want to cover up your surface. So try to get some newspaper or fabric or canvas if you can. I have some canvas that I'm laying down right here. Start with your chunk of clay and just tap it out into a slab. So you can use the side of your fist, the bottom of your palm right here, like the heel of your hand, and tap it out. You can also roll this out with a rolling pin if you have one of those at home, and toss it back and forth, just like a pancake right here, to get rid of any lumps that your hand leaves. You want this to be about as thick as your finger, probably about 1/3 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch right here. And you can use, once you get it kind of that right thickness, you can use your needle tool and draw out your shape. You can also use a ruler or a straight edge for this if you like. I'm just gonna use the side of the knife, right, and draw this out. I'm doing a rectangle, but you can also do a circle, any other kind of shape that you like. And then cut it out once you get it all the way done. If you want to kind of rework your shape, you can just smooth out your drawing with your finger. Now from here, you're going to place it on your wear board. As you may know, clay has a memory. It'll remember which ways you warp it when it's really soft like this, right? So if you lift it up from both sides when you have a flat slab like this and make kind of like this taco shape right here, as the clay dries and fires in the kiln, it'll kind of revert back to that shape and have a tendency to lift back up in those areas. So try to keep it, once you have your slab cut out, try to keep it flat as much as you can, as much as possible. You can smooth out all your edges because these might get kind of sharp after the firing. Take your time with this. You can use a little bit of water if you need to. And then from here, you can take the scraps and just roll these into coils. So you can kind of roll it back and forth. You don't want to press down as you do it because you don't want to flatten it. And these can be pretty thin. And then from here, you can either kind of plan out what your soap dish is going to look like. If you want to, this one has a few little kind of dashes right here as like a pattern. This one has just 2 long coils going across it. This one right here just has a few little dots, these little nuggets instead of coils, right? This one has long coils going the opposite way. So you can kind of, plan it out however you want, make up a few little compositions as you do it. It can just be a more simple, geometric soap dish, or you can get kind of playful with these patterns and designs. So maybe you can go across this way, right? I'm gonna just do a few small coils going back and forth right here. And once you get your surface figured out, then you can scratch and attach it on. So for slipping and scoring, you'll need your water. You can use a fork for this if you're working with longer coils, or you can just use your thumbtack for shorter coils like this. and scratch it on. Crisscross, back and forth, all of these coils on here. Remember, this works kind of like Velcro, right? You want to scratch both sides up really well and then press it in pretty firm. Smooth out these scratches as you go. These are really fun to make in bulk. You know, if you just get one big slab and then cut out, 5, 6, or 7 different kind of shapes, and then just roll out 8 long coils and tear them apart and then figure out patterns and different kind of designs that way. It's like a really fun way to work. And then you also just have, maybe 8 or 10 different soap dishes. They make good gifts. Nice little simple compositions, right? And then you can also get creative with the decoration when you go to underglaze them or glaze them later. If you want to add a ridge around it, kind of like this one has right here to catch any soap scum, same thing, just use a coil, scratch up all the edges. All 4 sides, or your round side if you have a round piece, and lay your coil in right there. Take a little bit of time, smooth out all these edges right here. You can also make images with these coils, right? So if you wanted to do, some people, have done, when I've done this workshop before, like smiley faces with this. If you wanted to make like a flower shape with your coils, you can just use these coils like lines, right? And make drawings inside of your soap dish that way. You can use the back side of your fork as a tool too to smooth right here. And then this drill bit right here is perfect for drilling little holes for drainage if you want to have drainage in it too. Feel free to wait until it sets up to leather hard, a little bit firmer of like a consistency to do that once it holds its shape. But if you don't have time to do that, you can just go right in and drill through right now, just like this. And then you have a soap dish. Another way of doing that is to make a really thick slab. So the way this one was made right here, this slab is not quite like a 1/2 inch, but thicker than the one that we just had. Tap it out, same way, but leave some thickness. Cut out your shape. And then you can press these ridges in just with your finger. So you don't even really need tools besides just a butter knife for this one. And just lay these in. And these will catch any little soap scum or make some drainage right here. You can poke holes in these little trenches right here if you like to let the water out. And you can do this in all kinds of different shapes. You could do lines going across this way, going across this way. You could do just poking divots in it, a few little holes at a time. Right, so you can work kind of additively this way or subtractively this way. And that's about it. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoy it.